Hello, good evening, and welcome to another video tutorial in the series that I'm doing on the Fantom ecosystem. And in this video, I'm going to be focusing on how you can harvest your xLQDR rewards and what to do with linSpirit. In other words, if you scroll down here on the xLQDR screen, for those of you who are new to staking, you'll notice that we're getting payout, and it's coming in the form of linSpirit. So we're going to talk about linSpirit, what it is, and then I'm going to show you three distinct use cases that you can employ to leverage the rewards that you're receiving in linSpirit. Now, before we get started, as always, all the information provided in this video tutorial is provided on an as-is and as-available basis, and you agree that your use of such information is entirely at your own risk. You should not construe any such information or other material in my video tutorial as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. Nothing in this video or on my YouTube channel constitutes a solicitation, recommendation, endorsement, or offer by myself or any third party. I am not liable for the loss of any fiat assets, tokens, or fees incurred as a result of you following the steps presented here. This is not I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. The opinions expressed in the video tutorial are for general information and entertainment purposes only and are not intended to provide specific financial and/or tax advice or any recommendations for any individual or any specific cryptocurrency token or investment product. Whew! All right. I hate saying that, by the way, but I have to. So here's what we're going to be doing tonight. As of 7 o'clock tonight, I received my payout from the Fantom ecosystem, and specifically my locked LQDR, which is xLQDR. And you can see, as time goes on in that 2-year window that I'm locked into, the xLQDR total is going to shrink slowly over time. However, at 7 o'clock every night, I'm receiving my payout for the rewards I'm getting based on the APRs that are listed up here. And you can see the total APR now is shrinking. It's down to 96.74%. And a quick note, when you take your LQDR and you actually go ahead and lock it up, the epic time here is very important. So if I was to, let's say that I didn't have any xLQDR, and I hadn't locked anything up yet, and I just, logged on, found the Fantom ecosystem, arrived here at the Liquid Driver site, and I put in $500 worth of LQDR and locked it up for 2 years. Well, if I did it right now, I would have to wait 23 hours and 37 minutes before I'm eligible to get rewards. And then I would have to wait another entire epoch, another 24 hours before I receive my rewards. So when you first lock up your LQDR, remember that the closer you do it to the end of the epoch, the less you're going to have to wait to get into that actual next epoch where you're actually going to be earning rewards. And so don't panic when you see nothing here. If you were to stake right now, in 23 hours, you're not going to see anything. In fact, you're going to have to wait an additional 24 hours after this 23 hours and 36 minutes. So just a quick sidebar right there, not to panic thinking that you're not earning your rewards. But once you make it through that full epoch window, you then start receiving the rewards. And so this is 3 days worth here, and I was doing some tinkering and some testing earlier. And so here's what we're going to do first. I'm going to harvest my rewards from the revenue sharing vault. So I'm going to click on claim. Now the MetaMask window is going to pop up. I'm already connected to the Fantom Opera mainnet. You can see that up here. And what is our estimated gas fee going to be? Well, it's going to be 26 cents. And this is one of the reasons why typically my schedule is going to be I harvest once a week. And then you pay 26 cents. You pull out, it looks like I'm averaging about $5 a day here. So you would say $35, and I'm going to pay 26 cents in order to harvest those rewards. Let's click on confirm. And what you're going to see happen now is it does take a few seconds, and I always stress patience, and sometimes that gets a little nerve-wracking if you're doing like a larger transaction and you're thinking that maybe something went wrong. But what I've noticed is sometimes you need to refresh this page. And so we'll see what happens. We'll give it a second. What I typically do is I'll click on my MetaMask wallet because, again, I just initiated a claim. And there we go. So that took a good 15 to 20 seconds for my claimable earnings to zero out. So now the question is, where did they go? Where's the LQDR, the WFTM, the wrapped Fantom, the linSpirit? And when I say linSpirit, really, what I want you to think about is linSpirit is just wrapped in spirit. That's all it is. And it's one of the differences between linSpirit and in spirit without the L is this linSpirit. This is liquid. I can swap it. I can put it into a yield pool, right? So I can use the linSpirit. The in spirit is not liquid, right? And so that's why you're getting paid out in linSpirit. So where did all of this go? Well, let's click on our MetaMask wallet and let's take a peek here. We'll come over to the Assets tab. You can see there's that 0.074 LQDR. We'll come down a little bit further. You'll see that I have some in spirit. And again, that is not liquid. We're getting paid out. Where are we? So there's my boo. That was the boo I got paid out. There's the spell that I got paid out. There's the WFTM that I was paid out. There's the BEETS. And so that pretty much accounts for everything that we were talking about. And there's the linSpirit. And so you can see I've got 64.37. And so they'll show up here in your wallet. Now, a quick sidebar, and this is definitely, again, it caused me a little concern. The first time I did it, in my MetaMask wallet, I did not have those tokens here. They were not listed here. So, in the event that you harvest your claimable earnings, right, from the revenue sharing vault and you claim things and you click on your MetaMask wallet and you don't see anything here, don't panic. This is all you need to do. And so if I scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see here it says import tokens. This is what you're going to do. You're going to click on import tokens. That's the window that's going to open up. So for me, I had already interacted with LQDR. So that was in my wallet. I saw the earnings I claimed. But WFTM, linSpirit, Boo, Spell, and BEETS were not in my MetaMask wallet. I had to import each of those tokens manually. Now, would they have shown up at some point? Maybe, but I wanted to have them show up immediately so that I could see that the harvest of the rewards was working. So how do you do that? It's very simple. I'm going to pull this page up here. I'm actually going to duplicate this tab. And all you need to do is go to Ftmscan.com. And here's what you're going to do on Ftmscan.com. You're looking for the contract address. So, for example, what about spell? So I'm interested in the contract address for spell. So I'd type in spell and I'd hit enter. And actually, I apologize. I think it went by there. So I type in spell and I hit enter and it says it can't find it. All right, let's try a different one here. Let's say BEETS. So I'll say BEETS and there we go. From the Beethoven network. And I type in BEETS. This is the contract address. So you simply copy that address, come up to your MetaMask wallet. On the assets, on the Fantom Mainnet, you scroll all the way down, click import tokens, and you paste the address. And you could see that I was using all of these addresses to add manually all of those tokens. Now, as soon as I paste this in, it says it's already been added. Now, when you go to do it, you're going to notice that the token symbol and the token decimal values are automatically filled in for you. So you don't need to fill those in. You simply paste the contract address in and off you go. So again, how would I get it? You go to Ftmscan.com. Let's type in Boo. And there it is, spooky token Boo. You click on it. There's the contract address for Boo. It's going to show up here in a second. It does take it a few seconds. When it's really light like this, you want to make sure you're waiting. And there it is. Now it's a little bit darker, so I would copy the address and paste that in as I import that token. And when you do that, your tokens aren't lost, right? Remember, it's all based on the wallet address that's connected. We just need to import the token so that we can see the values. And so I wanted to make sure I covered that because that's something that threw me when I first went to claim my rewards from the revenue sharing vault. All right, so that's how you claim the rewards. You saw it was 26 cents was the fee. We now know where they show up. I see those totals in MetaMask, in my MetaMask wallet. You now know how to import those individual tokens by going to ftmscan.com, searching on the token based on the symbol, that's how I do it, getting the contract address, and then pasting that in. All right, so now our focus is going to turn to linSpirit, and I'm going to be doing a video on each of these in turn, but I want to focus on linSpirit in this video. So we have this linSpirit, and you saw that it does show up in the MetaMask address. So what can we do with it? Well, there's 3 use cases, and where did it go? There it is. So there's 3 use cases I'm going to address. The first use case is I want to swap it. So to do that, you cannot do it on, if you were to come here to buy LQDR, you cannot swap your linSpirit using either this Yoshi Exchange applet or the Rubik applet. So if I was to click on FTM here and say, okay, I want to exchange my linSpirit, you'll notice it doesn't show up. Same thing is true over here. If I click on FTM and the Fantom Mainnet, you can see these are the only choices we have. linSpirit is not listed here. Now, Wrapped Fantom is here, so keep that in mind when you're earning your Wrapped Fantom rewards and claiming those. You could swap those using Rubik, but linSpirit we can't. So here's what we need to do with linSpirit. I'm going to come over to Spirit Swap, and I love Spirit Swap. It is so convenient. A huge fan of the interface, and again, it's the convenience for me. So we've got linSpirit. Now, maybe with your linSpirit earnings, you want to swap those into some other token. And let's take a look at the options. And it is literally a massive list of options. You can see linSpirit shows up right here at the top. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and, whoops, I did not want to do that. Let me cancel that because that would add the token. We've already added it. So we've got linSpirit here. You can see that that's my balance. And so let's do this. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to run a transaction for all of these. I'm going to go ahead and say 14.37, and what do we have there? 06. Now, more importantly, which tokens can I swap the linSpirit for? And it's a huge list. You could swap it to FTM if you wanted to go back to Liquid Driver and maybe do some pool, yield farming in one of the pools there. So here's a list of all the tokens. Now, I could even get some LQDR. If I wanted to take my linSpirit, swap it for LQDR, and then go back to the Liquid Driver site, to the xLQDR page, and increase my stake for the 2-year window to try to increase my rewards there. So here are all the options you've got, and I'm just going to go ahead and we'll swap it to, I don't know. Let's go ahead and swap it to FTM. Why not? All right, so I'm going to swap this to FTM, and all you're going to do is click swap. It's going to show you what the transaction is going to look like. I'm going to click confirm, and we're going to click accept because the price has been updated, confirm swap. MetaMask is going to pop up. You can see this is going to cost me 8 cents. I'm going to click confirm, and the Spirit Swap site is going to say transaction submitted. We're going to await the confirmation, and then another window is going to pop up here in the upper right that's going to show us what we can do. So use case number 1 for your linSpirit is you can swap it. And there you go. Success, swap successful. I can view it on Ftmscan. We don't need to do that because right here you can see that my FTM balance did bump up by 1.5 or something like that. So that's the first use case, that you can use your linSpirit because they're liquid, right? linSpirit is liquid. It can be used. So we can swap. Now, the next 2 use cases, and this is really where I'm going to be using my linSpirit, is I want to reinvest that. I want to put it to work for me, right? And there's 2 options we've got here. And I'm going to talk about each separately for yield farming, right, in one of the pools. Now, the first pool that we're going to talk about is here on Spirit Swap. So where would that pool be? Well, if I come down, I'll give it a second here. If I come down to linSpirit, not the farms, if I come down here to linSpirit, you can see that here, if I was to pair, right, create a liquidity pair, an LP pair of linSpirit and Spirit, that I could then go ahead and farm at 50.35%, and I'm earning Spirit tokens. So if you wanted to earn Spirit so that when you earn your linSpirit, that you could then create the LP pair, the liquidity pool pair, and I'm going to walk through each step to do that here. This is what you could do, and you're earning Spirit, right? And that's very important. Now, the other option is to farm it over here on Liquid Driver, and we're going to come all the way down to the Beethoven network. And you can see that the APR here is 73%, but we're going to come back to this because this is going to function differently. But the key takeaway is here, you're not earning Spirit, you're earning LQDR. Again, Liquid Driver is Liquid Driver, their token is LQDR, that's what you're earning for the majority of the pools. Over on Spirit Swap, the Spirit token is their token, and that's why for the majority of the pools, and basically almost all the pools I've seen, that's what you're being paid out in, is their token. Right? So if you want to earn LQDR, I'm going to show you how to do it here in a second. If you want to earn Spirit to match it with your linSpirit that you're earning off of the xLQDR, when you claim that, you might think about doing this. Now, there's a pretty stark difference between the 50.36% here that you can earn and the 73% that you can earn over on Liquid Driver. So again, do your research, figure out what's going to be best for you. So how would I do it here? Because this is one of the steps that's not as straightforward as it is over on Liquid Driver. So what I have to do is I have to come to the exchange first, because we have to manually generate the liquidity pair. So I click on exchange, I click on liquidity, and here's where I'm going to add liquidity. So in other words, I have to have both tokens that I'm going to be using to create the liquidity pair when I'm doing this on Spirit Swap. Over on Liquid Driver, you do not. And like I said, we're going to go over there in a second here. So how am I going to add liquidity here? Well, I'm going to click on this because I'm going to take my linSpirit, and actually, how much Spirit do I have right now? I've got 108 Spirit. So I'm going to take my linSpirit, of which I've got 50. And again, I've just harvested this. I'm going to put this all to work for me. So I'm going to say 100%. And then I'm going to come over here, and this is my liquidity pair. And I like the plus sign in the middle there because it's basically, hey, we're adding our linSpirit and our Spirit. And whoops, sorry, sorry, should have put in the matching token over here. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take all of our linSpirit, again, all those rewards that we had earned, and I'm going to pair it up with the Spirit token. I'm going to create the liquidity pair, so that way I can then go back to the linSpirit screen and add that to my farm. So let's click supply. I'm going to click confirm supply, and while you're doing this, if it's the first time you've interacted with some of these tokens, it may ask you to approve things. And so you're basically approving the contract to interact with the token. So don't freak out if that's what happens. All right, so I'm going to click confirm. We're going to pay 6 cents, right? Not bad, 6 cents. Think if you were doing this on the Ethereum blockchain, what kind of a fee you would be looking at. So again, transaction submitted. Please wait for the confirmation, and we should see that in just a second. So there we go. Success. Add liquidity successful. Now, you might be asking, okay, you've created this liquidity pair. Where can you see it? And you can see right here, LP tokens in your wallet. So it kind of shows you right down here what's going on. However, Now that we see that, we don't have to go look in the wallet. All we need to do is come back to linSpirit. We can see that this is the linSpirit Spirit Farm. I've already kind of staked a few things in here, just some testing. If you haven't done it before, you would click on approve. Again, you're gonna pay a small little fee in FTM in order to get the approval to open this pool up for farming. And I'm gonna click on plus, and there you go. There's my balance of liquidity pool tokens, the linSpirit Spirit liquidity pair. I'm going to click max because I'm dumping it all in there, right? I mean, again, the whole idea is, hey, take those rewards and then let's put those rewards to work. And then I'm going to click confirm and we get another little fee here, right? And it looks like it's going to be about 6 cents. I'll take it. So I'm going to click submit. It's going to say that it's staking. And we'll give it a second here. And if you're wondering, wait a second, you just used all of your linSpirit to pair it with Spirit to put it in the liquidity pool here. How are you going to do it over on Liquid Driver? And that's one of the major differences that we'll get into here in a second. All right, so there we go. It shows that my linSpirit staked has increased a little bit, and it auto-magically harvested for me and put in any rewards that I would have had and dropped it in here. So I'm staking $37.83. And again, every week when I harvest my linSpirit up, this is an option where I can pair it with Spirit so that I'm getting paid out in Spirit. So that's use case number 2. We can swap the linSpirit, right, and get whatever token it is we want. Or I could go ahead and do this, and this is very attractive to me to do something like this. Or you can also participate in yield farming with Liquid Driver, with a Spirit linSpirit pair, and as you can see, it's 73% APR right now. And here are the details on that breakdown. Now, there's 2 major differences here. Well, actually, there's really 3. So the first major difference is the APR, and that's always subject to change. But that's a huge difference. It's like 20% or 23% difference right now between farming it on Spirit Swap, and then farming it here on Liquid Driver. That's the first difference. The second difference is what you're earning. Over on Spirit Swap, I'm earning Spirit. If I was to do the farming here, I'm earning LQDR. Now, here's the third major difference. Now, you'll notice it already says Zap here. If you get to this screen under this tab and it says approve, again, you have to click approve so that you can interact with the contract, and then you're going to see these options here. So, how do I do it here? Because the linSpirit that was in my wallet, it's not going to ask me for that. This is how on Liquid Driver you would go about creating the liquidity pair. And this, I love this Zap feature because it saves you the manual step that I had to do over on Spirit Swap when I went to the exchange and I went to liquidity and I created the liquidity pair. So you had to manually do that over on Spirit Swap, where here on Liquid Driver, I simply click on Zap and it pulls up my Spirit balance. So if you wanted to take the linSpirit and put it to work here in this pool, the recommendation would be take the linSpirit and swap it to Spirit. Then come here and take the Spirit, however much Spirit you want. And again, so, I'm going to spread mine out evenly as time goes on. So you take the max, you say 100% of it, and you can see the balance is 0 because I haven't put anything in here yet, but we're going to do that right now. So I'm taking all of my Spirit, and what it's going to do is it's evenly going to divide it. And so we should probably have right around 29 and change. I'm going to click approve. Again, we've got a small FTM fee, 7 cents. Absolutely. Let's jump on that. And it's going to create the liquidity pair token for me of the Spirit and the linSpirit. Now, this is what I've noticed here when I've done this for some other farms higher up here on the screen, is this window doesn't auto-magically disappear. And so typically what I'll do is I'll wait a little bit to see if it's going to disappear. And what you could do is you could come up here to your MetaMask wallet, and you can look here and you can see that that transaction, right, to create that liquidity pair is pending. And, you know, again, it takes 15 to 30 seconds. Make sure you're patient with things. And so I'll watch the wallet to wait for the approval message that's going to come through that's going to say that, yeah, this has been confirmed and everything is ready to go. And there it is. So you can see approved Spirit spend. I took all my Spirit and I went ahead, created the liquidity pair here, because that's how you do it here. You don't manually take Spirit and linSpirit on Liquid Driver to add it to this pool. You simply take the Spirit and however much you want of your Spirit, and that's how you do it. So we'll come over here to assets, right? If I was to scroll down, you can see that the Spirit hasn't updated yet because, or actually, I think it might show, let me see if it's going to show 59. I'm wondering if it's going to show me the Spirit, linSpirit. Yeah, it doesn't show me that in my wallet. So again, you'll notice the transaction was completed, but the screen sits here. So I usually don't hit the X. What I do is I just come over here and click anywhere in the screen, right? So here's how you confirm that, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to stake this. I'm ready to stick it into the yield pool. You click on stake and you would see it here, right? So it's not here yet. And again, there is a lag between when you do the zap and for the transaction to complete, and then once it's complete, waiting for it after you click stake to kind of wait for it here. So there is a little bit of a lag. And so while we're waiting for this to happen, my final kind of closing comments here on linSpirit, I would highly recommend you take a look at the docs. So let me click on the docs, and you can see right here in the docs on Liquid Driver site, it tells you all about linSpirit, right? It explains what it is, what the purpose of it is, and it's liquid, right? Meaning you can swap it back and forth on any DEX, you know, at will, right? Which is different from enSpirit. This is just simply wrapped in Spirit. All right, well, let's go back to the screen here, and let me click cancel, and let's click stake again, and let's see that it's not showing up just yet. So there's definitely a little lag. Let me, not that this is going to make much of a difference, I don't believe, but I'm going to refresh here, and let's scroll down. Let's click stake, and so we're waiting for the liquidity pair to show up here. And again, like I said, I've waited as much as a minute or two for this total to update. So let's do this. I'll go ahead and I'm going to pause the video. And then once this updates, we'll go ahead and we'll come back. All right, so we're back. And I think this was a noob mistake on my part. So this was the first time I had tried to interact with this. So I think that the fee that I paid, I'm clicking on stake and nothing's showing up, right? However, if I go to zap, you'll notice all of my Spirit still shows up. So we're going to do 100% again. We're going to try this again. I'm going to run it through a second time. And this is what you should see on the confirm zaps. And I apologize for that because I've forgotten that I would see something like this. So again, the first time I did it, it was sort of approving the contract, and I'd actually commented on that and then forgot that you need to do this. So you basically just then zap again, confirm the zap. We're going to get 29 and change. There's my fee, 14 cents. Again, you can't afford not to do that for 14 cents. And now we're going to wait for the confirmation. So I apologize about that. And I'm learning the ecosystem, the Fantom ecosystem, and that's really kind of the purpose of these videos, is to maybe, you know, help you, save you some time, and maybe save you some money from doing things, and just to kind of give you sort of like, hey, this is how I'm doing it. Here are the options that I'm finding. And so now let's go back up to the MetaMask wallet, and let's see if we're waiting for, all right, it looks like we should be good to go. And again, this is kind of where I've waited for these windows to close, and sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. And I improve that. So we should see, and again, what I typically do is I will click somewhere else in the window, come to stake, and that is what I was trying to show you initially. So you notice that window didn't go away, right? Kind of making you think that something's wrong, or maybe you did something wrong, right? Like what happened to me initially, forgetting that I needed to come back in and zap it again, right? For the actual zapping to get it done. So here we go. We've got 58.86 blah, blah, blah of linSpirit available. And we're going to farm and again, stake it all. So I'm going to click confirm. And yes, again, we got a little FTM here. And this one is going to be 7 cents. I'm going to click confirm. And these windows here, I believe, do disappear. It was those other windows that you saw first, I think, that kind of hang out almost indefinitely until you kind of click out. But we'll wait to see what happens. Again, if you want to kind of check on it, you can click on your MetaMask wallet. You can see it's pending. And this is what I've kind of learned to do, is to watch the MetaMask wallet. And when it completes, to then give it a couple seconds and then just click somewhere else in the screen and then check to see, okay, does my, when you click on show details right over here, does it actually show the 58.86 LP tokens in there, getting to work for me, earning 73%. And so we'll go ahead and give this a few seconds. And I guess to kind of close things out here, so what have we done so far? So we harvested our xLQDR rewards from the revenue sharing vault, and then we focused on linSpirit. We looked at 3 use cases that you can use linSpirit for. You can swap it to anything, and then you can do pretty much anything you'd like. And there we go. All right, so perfect. So patience is definitely a virtue when it comes to this portion of the staking. If I click on show details, it hasn't updated yet, but it will. Again, there's always a lag, it seems like here. So the first use case was we could swap it. The second use case is I can pair it with Spirit on Spirit Swap, manually create the LP tokens, stake those, and it's right around 50% right now. And there you go. The screen just updated. You can see my stake is $19. And so now I'm earning 74% on that. And so then this will start to count up, however, albeit slowly, but still. Again, I'm putting those earnings to work. And then this was the third use case. And remember the major differences. Here, I'm earning LQDR. On Spirit Swap, you're earning Spirit. Here, I simply click Zap, and you'll notice my balance is now 0. I simply click Zap, and it's going to take Spirit to do it here on Liquid Driver. Over on Spirit Swap, I need both Spirit and linSpirit in order to create the LP token. Here, I just need Spirit. So if you wanted to do it here because you think this is going to be better for you, then swap the linSpirit to Spirit and then come back over here and zap it all into a liquidity pair. And then off you go. All right, well, that is going to do it for tonight's video on how you claim your rewards, the xLQDR rewards, and what to do with linSpirit. Leave me a comment down below if you like the video, and maybe subscribe. All right, that's all I've got, guys. Thank you so much for watching. All the best, and as always, I hope to see you in the next video.